Guys, it's Whitney here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another speed build for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. We're actually going to be doing another community build. This community lot is actually taking the place of the movers and shakers, which is the gym that comes with Willow Creek. And this is actually another multifunctional lot, which means that there's actually 3 different community lot types on this single lot. My decision making for making certain lots is usually based around what I personally want or need in my game. And I actually started this build I think around the same time I did the bowling alley build that was the last video that I posted. And I wanted to make a lot that I could like have an activity for my sim self to do, and I wanted her to be able to go and do something for her birthday. Actually, no, I think it might have been Mother's Day and not my sim self's birthday. I've talked about this multiple times on this channel at this point, and I feel like I have to constantly bring it up because I'm always doing these like multifunctional community lots. It's very rare that I just do like one type of community lot, and I feel like the only reason why I would do it is if I'm working on a smaller lot, or if I want to make like a community lot that's a lot bigger. Like the bowling alley, it needed a lot of space because the bowling alley, like the actual bowling alley thing, it takes up a lot of space. And so that was an instance where I kind of, actually no, I think that lot too, it was actually like technically like 2 functional lots in one, where it was like a bowling alley but it was also a restaurant. But I kind of classify it as one community lot because there's no bowling alley community lot type that you can choose from and build by. But if there is one, I'm just dumb and I don't know where it's at. And another reason why I would use like just one lot type, like for just one single lot, is if I wanted to make like a bigger type of build. So like for example, this lot includes a spa, a thrift store, and like a kind of like a brunch kind of cafe type of community lot. And there were several moments during this build process where I kind of wished that I had like extra space or more room to kind of like expand the build a little bit more. So for example, like the spa, I kind of was like struggling with where to place certain things, like the the massage table and like the massage chairs where you can also get your nails and stuff done. And I was just like struggling with space, and also like the cafe, I was trying to like figure out where I'm going to place certain things. And as you can see here, I kind of had like this little fence area, and I was thinking that maybe this could be like the back part where they like go to dump their garbage and stuff, but I actually changed that and used it instead to expand that type of lot because I was like running out of space on the inside, and I was like, I need the extra space. And my idea for this lot was that like you can just bring your sims here and there's multiple things that they can go do. Like for example, they can come here early in the morning and come and get like breakfast or brunch, and then they can like go shopping, and then they can go and get a massage or get their nails and stuff done. And I was gonna include like a little kids activity tape, like a little jungle gym or something like that, but instead I put the little toddler one because if you do place this lot on the movers and shakers gym lot in Willow Creek, then there's already like a little kid like jungle gym, like I think it's the pirate ship one, a little ways away. They can like walk to it and still stay on that same lot. You don't have to sit through another loading screen. So I thought it would be like more beneficial to like have your like a little toddler play set thing, because I kind of envision like this being a place where like your sim moms can come and hang out with other sim moms, and they can have like a little time for themselves while their toddlers play outside for a little bit. I've talked about this on previous speed builds in the past, where I was like talking about how like I kind of struggle with commercial lots a little bit, and I don't think I struggle, but like I struggle with feeling like they look the same, because in real life most commercial or community lots or whatever, they look like they're just square. Like most of them are just squares, and then like a lot of, also like I don't know if it's different like with other people and where they live, but I know where I live at, like a lot of our community or public places, they like are in like a little area where there's multiple buildings, and like the people, like the business owners, they like the main building is like owned by one person, and they have to like rent out like the individual space. And so pretty much all of those spaces are completely the same. It's just like divided by like walls, and like whoever comes in to rent that space, they can of course like renovate it and change it to fit their business style. And that's kind of like it with when it comes to like commercial buildings, they all kind of like look the same. They have like the same shape. And so what I kind of wanted to do with this build is I wanted, it's kind of like a similar thing where like they are owned by the same building. Like it's just one building, but they're kind of like pieced together, and the people who come to rent out that building space, like they kind of renovate it and change it into whatever they want or need it for. And I think the way that I was able to kind of make this community lot, even though it is a very boxy shape and it's kind of like the same shape but like different buildings, so I wanted each lot type to have like a completely different feel. So like the thrift store, it looks like maybe it's been here, like it's the oldest building, and maybe the spa that is just like something new and it just opened up. And so it like also had like an investor that had like a lot of money, and they put a lot of money into renovating that space. And then the like little cafe, like I don't know, I kind of feel like it was like a house or something at some point, and like maybe it was like a house that was rented out to someone, and then instead of that person renting it and using it as a house, they decided to convert it into like an actual place of business. And when it comes to Willow Creek and even Newcrest, I've mentioned this before, but I take a lot of inspiration from my own town when it comes to Willow Creek and Newcrest. And I plan on like venturing out and doing different things and like experimenting with my builds. But for right now, because I was making this build for my sim self and like what she wants to do and like what I want her to do, because she's not like a living being, so she doesn't really have any wants or like desires for what to put in Willow Creek. Like she just vibes with whatever I decide to put in there for her. But back to what I was talking about, like when it comes to my own town, like a lot of our buildings are pretty old, and I would say like a lot of the members of the community are like older people, but of course we do have like like younger people too. And like from the younger crowd, like we are kind of wishing that we had more. I think the town is starting to notice that a lot of people are moving out and moving into the city because there isn't really a whole lot to do. But like the older crowd, they're like kind of stuck in their ways and like they don't want to let go of the old. And so that's kind of what I was inspired by with this build, where I feel like the thrift store is probably the old, and even like this little brunch cafe is the old. But of course like the younger people, they're the ones that are investing into businesses and investing into these community lots so they can kind of like convert them into whatever they want. But of course there's like the older crowd who are kind of like stuck in their ways, so it's like kind of like a compromise or like a blending of the old and the new. I feel like I spent a lot more time focusing on the outside of the builds than I did the inside. And that doesn't mean that I just like neglected the insides, because I think that the insides turned out pretty cool. But I just wanted to like make it seem like these buildings were kind of like cohesive and like they were like connected in some way. And it was like, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of like being able to walk into one building and then like doing what you need to do in that building and then just walking to the other, and this like you're just handling business for that day. And I forgot to mention, even though that this is technically like a multifunctional build, that doesn't mean that you'll be able to like use all the functions at once. So like you can only have like one lot type, and I wish that it was different. I wish you could like select at least 2 different lot types, but unfortunately that isn't the case right now. So I think if you download it on the gallery, it's technically a restaurant, and I did include like a custom food menu. I don't know if the food menu is going to be messed up like when you download it off the gallery, but I think I was like making it like almost like a breakfast and like brunch themed restaurant. But if you want this lot to function as a bubble tea thrift store or a spa, you'll have to like go and build and buy and like change the community lot type. So the lot type that we're actually working on right now is the restaurant technically, even though as you can see, I decided to put the bubble tea counter in the restaurant because I kind of like the idea of like having this be like a place where you can come and just pick up like a dessert. I can't remember like the type of desserts that come with the bubble tea cafe. Usually when I do it, I just come and get the bubble tea, and I sometimes forget that you can also pick up food right there. But that it is a place where you can just come if you want to really quickly to grab a bubble tea. And they don't really sit down and drink their bubble tea, I've noticed, like unless you actually make them sit down and do it, which is kind of annoying. But they can come and just like pick up a quick drink, or if they want to and you change the lot to a restaurant type, then you can convert it to a restaurant and they can like sit down and actually have a actual meal. But I also like the idea of like having a reason to have your Sims leave the house, because I feel like a lot of the times when I play my game, I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but I feel like a lot of the times I like have my Sims just stay home all the time and they rarely ever do anything. So I feel like having a lot like this where they can just come and grab a bubble tea if they want to is like perfect. And another thing that I feel like I neglect a lot of the times is my Sims like friendships and other relationships besides their like partner. Like I feel like once my Sims get a partner or get married or something, I kind of like neglect all of my Sims other friendships and relationships. And that's something that like for me personally in my personal gameplay, especially with my dream life, or like me manifesting my dream life with my Sim self, which I've been playing with off camera, I've kind of like been trying to nurture some of my friendships. And so like I've been inviting my Sims friends here to this lot to kind of like go and like hang out and grab a bubble tea and like sit and talk for a little while, just to have them do something outside of their regular house. And sometimes I will have them come here to have like brunch or something, but I don't know, I just feel like that whole process is kind of annoying, because I don't know if it's like this for some, like every other player, but I think like the dine out pack, it's still very broken and it just takes too long for your Sims to get their food, and it's kind of like annoying and frustrating. It's like it takes like the whole day for them to just eat one meal here, and then they're never ever really full. So I guess that's another reason why this bubble tea cafe thing is here, because maybe they can like grab a snack to go or something, or grab a bubble tea to take with them. But I just like the idea of like having the bubble tea like downstairs, just so they can like come and grab something really quickly. And I think originally when I was working on this build, I was messing with a lot more like debug items, but I decided not to, because I don't know why, but like especially if I have like CC like enabled in my game and I'm messing with debug, like my game just crashes. And I don't know, I'm getting better at it, but I always forget to like save my game like periodically throughout this build. And what you're actually seeing here is like this second version. Well, it's not a second version because there's only one version of this build, but when I was originally working on this build, like I had a completely different layout. I had the actual restaurant down below at the bottom, and I wasn't really completely sure about what I would do with the bubble tea cafe yet, but I did know that I didn't want the bubble tea counter in the actual thrift store, which we'll get to a little bit later. And I actually do wish that we had like more retail stores that like didn't need, like I wish, for example, like the thrift store, I wish it could just be a thrift store and not a bubble thrift tea store or whatever it's called, because I kind of wish that our Sims just had the ability to have the experience of going shopping. I also wish there was like some type of gameplay where you could bring your Sims here and they could like make their order and like stand beside the little hostess station until their food is ready, and they can just like pick it up and take it to go. Because I don't know, like I mentioned, like the whole process of like sitting and waiting for your food and stuff, it just takes so long. And I know you can like order takeout or delivery at your Sims home, but I just like, I don't know, I like things like that in my game that kind of mimic real life. And I hope I'm not like the only one that's like guilty of this. I could just be me. Maybe I'm just like super greedy. But sometimes like when I go to restaurants, especially if it's like early in the day, and let's say like this restaurant, they sell breakfast and lunch. I have in the past, I don't do it every time, but I have in the past like ordered something for breakfast because I went there for breakfast. But like I also go like around like close to that time where they're switching to lunch, and I have like in the past like made an order to like take with me to go to like have to eat later. I don't know, like just because I don't really feel like cooking or something, or maybe I'm just like full and like I can't decide. Like I was looking at the menu and something else caught my eye that looked really good, so like I will like order extra food to like take with me for later. And I do believe that if you have the ability to download mods into your game, I believe there is a mod by Carl Sims, I think, and it's called Dine Out Reloaded or Overloaded or something like that. I don't know. It's like something like that. But you can like make this lot like where you can like order out, I think. But I like the idea that maybe this is a restaurant that is owned by like a little small family, and it's not a super big restaurant. It's just like a little small cafe type of thing. And like I said, maybe originally it used to be like a little small house that used to be rented out or something like that. Maybe like the first floor was one complex and the other floor was a different complex, and then the family came and completely like renovated it and turned it into like a little small restaurant. Maybe they have a dream of maybe one day owning a bigger restaurant. And like downstairs, as you probably saw, I used like a lot of those little posters, like the bubble tea posters, and it actually reminds me of like this little family that I know in my town. And I don't know, I kind of feel bad for them because I'm pretty sure they're like they got caught up into like an MLM scam, because they have like this little, it's a really cute like little business that they have, but I kind of feel like bad because it's not really their business. Like I don't know like everything that's going on within their business, but basically like it's like a Herbalife thing where they're like selling Herbalife products. And I don't know, I'm kind of like afraid for that family. They're like really nice people, and I feel like they're being like as ethical or like truthful as possible. But I don't know, for some reason I just like, from what I've seen on YouTube and stuff about like Herbalife, they're kind of like a sketchy company, and I kind of feel bad for like that family in my town, because I don't know, I want them to like, they're just really nice, and like they do give like really good customer service, and I actually don't really like the products, but the reason why I keep going back is because I like that little family. They're really nice. And I actually feel bad if I don't go there. Like if I stop going there, I don't know why, but I don't know, I just feel bad if I just stop going completely. But at the same time, I just feel like the products that they have are also kind of sketchy, and I just feel bad for the little family and also the other people who come in there thinking that they're getting something that's really healthy and good for them. And I just feel like, I don't know, like especially the people in my town, because it's such a small town and not everyone is like as aware of like these type of things that you might see on like on, you know, TikTok or YouTube. And I don't think like the family like have ill intentions. I really do think that they have like found this way of like making money or making their dream come true. And I feel like maybe they do actually see themselves as like business owners. And I kind of like, I don't know how like Herbalife is like scamming them, or like if they're in some type of hole, but I don't know, I just wish them the best. And maybe the little Sim family that owns this business, maybe they aren't being scammed by a larger company, or maybe the land grabs, they are the ones that own the bubble teas, and in order to afford this building to have their dreams come true and run a restaurant, they had to like get a loan from the land grabs, and maybe the land grabs had their own conditions that like, in order for you to get this amount of money to open up your business, you have to use the downstairs as another bubble tea in order for us to make money or something like that. So maybe this family is like hoping to one day be able to pay the land grabs back and be able to use the entire space as a restaurant for themselves. But I feel like this little, especially like the downstairs like bubble tea like cafe, it's like very much so like the bowling alley that I just did. It's very bright and colorful, and I feel like it's a very inviting. And I actually think about like how this lot can be used for like all of your Sims. And I wouldn't say that this lot is very like infant or toddler, even children friendly. I feel like it's mostly for like your older Sims. So I could definitely see like the teenagers being like coming here to grab like a bubble tea and like spending time with their friends and just like having a place to hang out, because I think I want to kind of like pivot into that a little bit more and exploring on like how like different lots that I can do for the teenage Sims and like even like the elder Sims, because I feel like there isn't a whole lot for them either. So I think maybe in the future when I do like another community lot build, it might either be for the teens or the elders. But I am open to hearing your suggestions for what you want to see me build next. I do have like a lot of ideas or plans that I have in the future for what I want to build, but I might like be open to hearing you guys' input and like what you guys want me to build or what you guys need for your Sims. Like maybe you're not, or you don't consider yourself to be a really good builder and you would prefer someone else to build for you. Let me know what you want me to build and I'll try to see what I can do. And this restaurant, it also has like a little balcony where your Sims can also dine out on. I almost forgot it was there at one point in the build, and then I had to like rearrange some things and put a door out there so that your Sims could come, like I could put some tables down and your Sims can actually come out here and dine as well. It's not a lot of space, and that's one thing that I was kind of worried about, because I know with like restaurants it tends to get really cluttered and a lot of Sims tend to like come in at once, and I didn't want it to be like a situation where there wasn't anywhere for the Sims to sit. I think at some point, like if all the tables are taken, then no more Sims are supposed to spawn onto the lot until like they are served. But I just wanted to make sure that I had enough seating. And then this is a little area where I thought it would be like really cute, like if your Sims wanted to come out here and like have like take selfies or something, or you can have like your mom Sims come out here and sit on the bench while their toddlers play on the little playground area. And it's not really ideal because they can't really see what the toddlers are doing, because it's kind of like on the side, but that's kind of what I was thinking here. Or maybe like you can just have like your elder Sims come out here and sit and chat for a little bit while they watch like the younger crowd go on the skating rink. But now we are moving on to the other lot type, which is the thrift store. Even though technically the restaurant, that's technically like two different lot types in like one building, because upstairs, like I mentioned, it's like the restaurant, but then downstairs you have like the bubble tea. And I also put the little microphone in the restaurant area because I wasn't sure where to put it, because I knew I didn't want to put it in here, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I ended up putting the microphone in the restaurant, and I think the only reason why I put it in the restaurant is because it was a requirement for the thrift and bubble tea lot type to have a microphone. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's like some type of karaoke or like spoken word or like some type of poetry type of thing, but I don't really understand the need to have like a microphone in a bubble tea thrift store. But I had to put it somewhere, so I just put it in the restaurants for maybe, I don't know, maybe some days they have like a little open mic night at the restaurant where you can come and like sing or like do comedy, or I don't know. I don't think you can do poetry in the game. Maybe I wish maybe that was something that you could do, especially with like the new expansion pack that's coming out. Like I feel like that could be like something that they could add onto the game, because I do believe that microphones come with base games. So I feel like all they would have to do is like add a second or a different option to just do like do spoken poetry, and like maybe they could like invite their sim on a date and like read a poem to them, kind of like on like season 2 of Bridgerton, where like the men were trying to woo Edwina and they were like reading her poetry and stuff like that. They were like, maybe with this love expansion pack, maybe they could like include something like that. I doubt that that would happen, because I'm pretty sure the pack is completely made, and whatever is in that pack or included in that pack is what's gonna come. But maybe in the future that's something that they can add on. But as for this thrift store, I kind of wanted it to be like a throwback into the past almost. Like I've been wanting to do like a lot like this for a really long time. I actually wanted to do like some type of record store. So as you can see, like just place these like different records down here on the table. But I don't think that there's an actual need for like a complete like just a record store by itself. So instead I decided to make this like an actual thrift store. And one thing that I really miss from older Sims games, more specifically Sims 2, is I miss the experience of having your Sims have to go out of their house to go clothes shopping. I don't know, I feel like Create a Sim is fun for those who like to kind of like play dress up with their Sims, but I don't know, I don't really mess around and Create a Sim all too often. But I do wish that it was like the Sims 2, where you could like, you had to like literally make your Sims leave their house to buy multiple different outfits for them to wear. And I don't really like the idea that they just have like, our Sims have all the clothes options at their disposal to like change at any time that they want to. I know there are like, with especially with high school years, when that pack came out, there are certain items of clothing that are only unlocked from like going to their store. and browsing what they have there. And I miss those like mundane things that came with The Sims 2, like having your Sims go out, like actually go to an actual grocery store to buy groceries because their groceries got low and they weren't able to make anything because they didn't have enough food in their refrigerator and they had to go to the grocery store and either like call the grocery delivery service on the phone. And I also miss in The Sims 2 where your Sims will like have to go to an actual clothing store and you would like buy them a couple outfits with their actual money, and they would like, you could like see the animation of them like browsing through the rack, and then they would like get the clothes that they wanted. Like it would be like a pile of clothes, kind of like how like the pile of clothes that come with the laundry day pack, and they would like take it to the counter and like they would hand the cashier the money. And it's like things like that we're missing in The Sims 4 that I really miss. But I kind of have to accept that I'm not going to be able to have that. So instead, I have to kind of make my own little store and like just have my Sims come here and pretend that they have the ability to do that. And this isn't just like a clothing store though, it's like an actual like thrift store. And the idea that I had for this community lot is that you're not really sure what you're gonna get here. Like I feel like maybe the person who owns this building, they're maybe like an older person and they have really good taste. Like they have good taste in like high quality clothing, and they have high taste in like high quality furniture. They have really high taste in like music and art. And I feel like maybe on the outside, like people kind of walk by this building and they see it as like someone, oh, this is just like an older gentleman who owns this business and they're just like a borderline hoarder and they just like have all of this junk in this one building. But in reality, like this person is like what is his name for the people who like are able to kind of know if something is like really high quality art or not. But anyway, like whatever that person is, I feel like that's what this person who owns this business is. And I feel like, yeah, maybe when you come to this thrift store, yeah, you might see a lot of junk because, yeah, I feel like the older gentleman, he does like like whatever you bring in, he'll take it and he'll sell it. But like you kind of have to like come here frequently and really dig through the stuff in order to find like the really valuable things. I feel like he really does have some valuable things here in this store, but you just have to be willing to kind of like look through it. And I feel like another reason why this community lot was my favorite is because it really played on my strengths, which is cluttering up the space. If you've watched my previous speed builds in the past, you've probably have heard me say that I really love clutter. I love cluttering up my spaces. I love making the space look lived in. And I feel like this building was like the perfect example of that because it does have a lot of clutter. And I think I did use like a lot of items from different packs. I also used a lot of items from different kits, but it was just like, I don't know, I think I used specifically a lot of high school years for like the little counter thing and also the clothing racks, which I really like. And I also used a lot of the basement treasures, I think that's a kit, and also the everyday clutter kit, I believe. I also think I used some items from the latest stuff pack that came out, which was the jewelry one. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the one where you can like make your jewelry or something like that from the crystals. I don't know. But I kind of feel like for the most part, this space is just for the looks of it. You can have your Sims come here and they can like play music on the record player. And like I mentioned, I miss the days where you can like have your Sims come shopping, and we don't technically have that. But I do have my Sims come here and like browse the rack to like create fashion looks, is what it's called in game. But I just have like in my mind, I'm pretending that my Sims are actually coming here to buy clothes, and like I'll have them like buy an outfit and like use their actual simoleons to buy at least one outfit, and then I'll go and like create a Sim and have them change their clothes. And I don't know why that's like a feature that's not included in game yet, because I thought that it was something that they would add when, like for example, in the ranch pack or like the horse pack, they do have like a little store where you can like change your outfit, but you can't buy clothes. And I think there is a building like that in Hinford on Bagley, or the cottage living pack, where you can like click on it and your Sims can change their outfit. But I don't see why they can't like add an option for like your Sims to like buy an actual outfit from it if you wanted to. I might have to look up and see if there's a mod for that. I haven't come across one, but I don't know, maybe I'll look into that and see if I can find one, because I just like when it comes to me and the mods that I download, I like to download mods that include like very like mundane type of things. But now we are moving on to the last and final lot type for this build, and that is the spa. Well, in my opinion, it doesn't technically count as a spa, because when I think of a spa, I do think of like having the whole setup with like the yoga studio and like the sauna and like different massage tables and stuff like that. But I guess in this build, it's more so like a salon more so than a spa. I kind of feel like I struggled with this building the most because it isn't a whole lot of space, and a lot of the items like these massage chairs where your Sims can like get a hand and foot massage and like get their nails done, and also the massage table, I was kind of worried about if they would have like enough space in order to be functional. And I also had to figure out where I was going to put a shower, because in order for the spa lot type to function, it does require that you have a shower. And I know you're probably thinking that you've gotten to this point of the speed build and you're probably wondering, where is the bathroom? You didn't see a bathroom in the restaurant, you didn't see a bathroom in the thrift store. But the question to your answer is, the bathroom is here in the spa, and I could only fit like one bathroom, and there's only one toilet for like every Sim that visits this lot to use. So I don't know, I feel like maybe that was like a downside of doing like a multifunctional lot. I think another reason why is because I did do like this build on like a smaller lot. I think for this lot size, it might have been like more ideal to just have like 2 different lots on one lot instead of like 3. And I also didn't really think about like a bathroom in my floor planning. I was just trying to make the lots as functional as possible and have all the items that I needed to have, and then I kind of like forgot about the bathrooms. And if you've watched any of my speed builds in the past, I kind of hate doing bathrooms. They kind of annoy me a little bit, and so yeah, I think that's why it was also easy for me to forget to include a bathroom. But there is one, and hopefully like all of your Sims won't need to use it all at once, so that there isn't like too much overcrowding. And if your Sim needs to use the bathroom, hopefully it'll be available to you. I think if this lot had a theme, or like what connects these 3 different lots together, I think it would most likely be like self-care, because I just think of this lot as like a place your Sims can come to for like a day out of for like pampering and like relaxing and treating themselves. I think the spa or the salon, it came out looking a little bit more fancier than I originally intended. Like I mentioned, I feel like the little brunch cafe is probably owned by like a couple, and the thrift store is most likely owned by like this older guy. But I feel like the spa is most likely like a bigger industry, or like a bigger company that has come in and like paid the town to use this building for their own means. That's why I kind of like the little logo that we see here on the flag. I don't know, it's like a half circle or like an oval or something. I like to use that to kind of show that this is like owned by like a bigger industry. It's not like privately owned or anything like that. And this is kind of like their logo, and they kind of put it on everything, and they probably even put it on their own products or something like that. And in a way, I feel like this slot is a good way to play with some features that I don't usually play with. Like for example, I never ever I never get my Sims to get their nails done. Usually I just do it and like create a Sim, but like I mentioned before, I really want to create like more community lots to give my Sims an excuse to leave from their home lot, because it can get really boring when you just have your Sims stay at home. And I just like to get them out and about and like travel around and stuff like that. And another benefit to this lot is that you don't have to like sit through multiple loading screens. Like I've mentioned before in like previous videos, like I typically, like if I have to sit through multiple loading screens, I honestly can probably sit through like one or two before I'm like completely bored with the game and I want to go and move on and do something else. So like the less loading screens that I have to sit through, the better, and the more I get to enjoy my game. So that's kind of why I like these types of multifunctional lots, because I don't have to sit through multiple loading screens in order to get to a different type of lot. I can get like more out of, I guess, my loading screens, because there's 3 lots in like one actual lot. The only thing is, again, you just have to change the lot type in buy mode. But I believe we are getting to the end of the speed build. As you can probably see, I just finished the top floor and I'm about to get started on the bottom floor. The top floor is mostly for like getting your nails done and getting a massage, and I use like a divider to like kind of separate the room a little bit because it was kind of awkward trying to fit everything there. And I feel like if you're getting a massage, you don't want other people to like see you, so I kind of feel like the divider, it was like a little helpful because I wasn't able to like, I didn't have any room to like make another separate room just for the massage table. But I think the requirements was that you had to have like 4 different like spa related things in the slot. And then downstairs we had like the hair salon and like a waiting area. And I don't think you can like hire someone to be the stylist, but you can, like, if you have like 2 Sims, you can have them like do each other's hair, and sometimes the hairstyles come out good and sometimes they don't. But I just think it's really fun, and it's something, again, that I don't really play with a whole lot. Usually I just change my Sim's hair and create a Sim, but I just like the idea of like having them have to go to an actual salon in order to change their hairstyle. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this voiceover up here. If you've made it to this point, I appreciate you for sticking around and watching the end of this video. I would recommend don't click off yet, keep watching, because I do have like images at the end. And this build has already been uploaded to the gallery. I'll put my gallery ID in the description, so if you want to download this slot, you can. But I'd love to hear your insight and hear what you think about this build. I'm also open to suggestions, like I said earlier. Like if you have anything specific you would like me to build next, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to get to it one day. This last week was kind of crazy, and I have been doing super good with like uploading pretty much every Friday for like the last few weeks. And I don't know, this week was just like kind of hectic, and I'm kind of posting a day late because I don't know why I thought I could like edit this video in like a day and like do the voiceover in a day. Like that was just like completely unrealistic for me. But again, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked this video. If you don't want to comment, that shows me that you enjoyed this build. And if you haven't done so already, I also ask that you subscribe, because if you enjoyed this speed build, I have plenty more where that comes from. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here, and I'll be talking to you guys around this time next week and show off another build for you.